Circe scrambles to his feet, running to hide behind Abraxas's imposing frame. Yeah, I'm sure it is imposing. He should impose it on top of me. Hello, and welcome to Circe's Route in Burn the Midnight Oil. This is a dark fantasy dating sim, and this time we play as a vampire who is investigating a mysterious case where an artifact has been stolen. And we also meet 3 very hot love interests too, including my personal favorite, a very stoic and moody vampire. Let's get started. Yay, I'm so excited to play as Circe. Date of birth is unknown. Type is a vampire. We are a private investigator, and our maker is hidden. For 2 decades, Circe has stalked the streets of North Haven as a private investigator. Accompanied by her sidekick Edgar, she mostly deals with trivial jobs like catching cheating spouses, finding missing pets, and slaying vampires. In recent years, Circe has lost her passion for her detective work, but the city isn't done with her just yet. When she's approached by 2 different clients looking for the same person, she decides to take on this one last case. I like how there's a picture of Abraxas here and she's drawn over him and says, lame. Somewhere. Don't remember the month? 1968. Oh no. Something not quite human sits on the edge of a stranger's bed, leisurely lapping at the blood coating her fingertips, savoring her leftovers. She turns ahead to stare at tonight's meal. A handsome man, currently lost inside his dreams. She wants to be certain she's not imagining the steady rise and fall of his chest. The last thing she needs is a trail of bodies leading them to her. But even the imprints of her teeth on his fair skin have already faded. When he wakes up tomorrow, his memories of the entire night, of her too, will be gone. She is so pretty. I love her. He'll go on with his life like he never met her. He'll get married, have a kid or 2, grow old, die. She'll remember him for a while, but she won't be sad about it, or miss him, or ever ponder what could have been. He's not the first meal his bed she seduced herself into, and he could never be the last. So pretty. Her eyes trace the stranger's feature one last time, searching in vain for a different face. His face. Before your humanity was stolen from you, could you have been anything like this man? Or have you always worn your penchant for destruction with unbridled pride? When the stranger stirs in his sleep, she accepts that she won't find whatever it is that she's looking for here. The time has come to part ways. Sweet dreams. Arthur? At least she thinks that was his name. I mean, he's hot. And I'm sure it was a nice juice box. Maker. It always reminds me of Dragon Age, especially that one scene where Cullen's like, oh, sweet Maker, when he sees Ironbull naked. It is midnight, and I'm writing to you from yet another city whose name I couldn't be bothered to learn. I'm not sure what day it is, or how long it's been since I bid you goodbye for the last time. Maybe it's been days. Maybe it's been weeks. Maybe it's even been years. Since your death, I haven't had anywhere else to call home. I only stay in one place long enough to take shelter while the sun is out, and then I'm back on the prowl. It's mostly men. I desperately want them to remind me of you, even though none of them look anything like the you I knew. Living or dead, I suspect no one will ever remind me of you. I should probably be grateful for that, shouldn't I? Maker. I've taken to hunting every night just to keep sane, but I don't think it's working. I fear I might have lost my mind long ago without noticing. At least I don't think I'm making things worse. At least I'm keeping busy, which means I have less time to think. That's a good thing. If I think too hard or too long, I'll start thinking of you. I make bad decisions when I think of you. Maker. Remember how you always used to say that creatures like us weren't made for rules? I always disagreed, but only out of spite. We both knew you were right. I hate being told what to do. Same. I hate it so much. I'll mess everything up for myself just to do the opposite. I miss it now though. If you were here, I wouldn't have these doubts. I wouldn't have to worry about right or wrong. You would make all the decisions. You alone would be responsible for the terrible consequences of our actions. Without you, I find that I'm no longer just lonely. I'm alone. You promised me, even death could never part us. So why didn't you take me with you? Shit. Backgrounds are so pretty. She slinks away from the crowds, seeking shelter in the shadows of the nearest alleyway. Oh shit. So this is it. All those years lead to this. She's still doing the exact same bullshit she used to do when she was trailing after him. Only now she's doing it alone. And to what end? What is the point of living like this? Can you even call it living? What? She almost doesn't dare say it. What if I just ended it? She's already died once. Her second death doesn't even have to count. Some might call it suicide, but Circe gave up on heaven a long time ago. If such a place ever exists, she was barred from entry many murders ago. All things must end someday anyway. Perhaps it's my turn now. That thought brings her a strange sense of peace. She slows her heart down, leans her head back against a brick wall and just listens. She hears traffic. She hears laughter. She hears music. She hears colleagues stumbling to their next bar arguing over who owes the next round. She hears couples spilling out of the cinema, giggling and necking and whatever couples do. If she really strains her ears, she can even hear a couple of homeless drunks laughing their asses off over a joke that definitely doesn't deserve such unfiltered glee. It all sounds like life. Crap. Well, she doesn't seem to be having a good time. All these years. And she's ready to kick the bucket because what? Because he is gone. She can't even make it a year without him. How is that fair? It's not. It's not fair at all. It's stupid, and worst of all, it's humiliating. She's mourned enough and doubted her decisions enough. She wants to live, so she's going to live. Yeah, that's right. She'll keep going out of pure freaking spite, if that's what it takes. Uh-oh, something drives through her chest, narrowly missing her undead heart. Thump. My heart! I kinda need that. There's a heartbeat, beating so violently it has to hurt. It takes her longer than it should to remember that it can't be hers. Oh, hi Edgar! Younger Edgar. Her eyes shift from the improvised stake in her chest to the man responsible for it. Perhaps he is more of a boy than a man. He can't be a lot older than she was when she was changed. Not that any of that matters right now. A stake to the heart. How many evil of you? The man-boy doesn't respond. He's busy watching in horror as she rips a stake out of her chest. She doesn't flinch at the pain. It's there like an incessant little bug, but it doesn't really hurt. Never does anymore. If I may offer you some advice for the next time you try to murder one of us, don't bother with the classics. Crosses, garlic, and all that nonsense. None of it works, except the sun. But she's not stupid, so she's omitting that part. Don't be afraid. She takes a step forward. He's trembling now, but still not a word. You're the one who tried to kill me. Shouldn't I be the one to fear you? She catches her hand right before it touches his face. She hadn't even realized she was reaching for him. It's a bad habit of hers. She's always cold, so she's always reaching for warmth. Why don't we play a game? Why don't you guess what can kill me? She doesn't like the silence. She wants to make him talk. If you get it right, I'll even reward you. Generous, more silence. This isn't some trick. I find you vaguely entertaining, so I intend to let you keep your life either way. Still silent. She stomps her foot, frustration seeping through. You're not going to talk to me at all. He's not even meeting her eyes anymore. She follows his gaze downwards. Oh, men. When she said that she follows his gaze downwards, I thought that he was pitching a tent. Interesting choice of priorities, checking out my boobs in a time like this. What? No, that's vile. I would never do that. Well, you just were. He speaks. Well, now I'm offended. What's wrong with my boobs? Yeah, what the hell? Why aren't you looking at my boobs? Nothing, I think. I mean, I wouldn't know because I wasn't looking at your chest area. I'm not that kind of man. Then what kind of man are you? He ignores the question. I was looking at that. He gestures wildly to the hole in her chest, or rather where the hole used to be less than a minute ago. It's already healed like it was never there. Another reason luck isn't on your side tonight. I just fed. What? I just fed, so I heal faster. That blank stupid look on his face is oddly endearing. Do you know nothing about our biology? Idiot? What'd you say to me? I called you an idiot. Would you like me to repeat that? He whips out the knife she already knew he was hiding in the pocket of his coat. Oh wow, I'm so scared. Edgar, do you even know how to use that? Don't patronize me. He points the blade at her. Or call me an idiot. If you behave like an idiot, I'm gonna call you an idiot. Simply smarten up if it bothers you. Do you think I care what you think of me, you leech? Hey, whoa. There's no need to use words like that. Evidently, you're not particularly good at hiding your thoughts. Why are you dragging this out? I'll never beg a vampire for my life if that's what you're waiting for, so just kill me and be done with this already. She sort of, kind of, not really, tries to stifle her laugh. It pisses him off even more. What's so funny? Sorry, it's just your accent. I only realize it now, but it's so British. I am not doing a British accent. That is like one accent I can't do. And I feel like every single time I try and do a British accent, like it's always like a bad one. Welcome to North Haven, England, where quite literally everyone talks like this. So that's where we are. She looks around, taking in her surroundings for the first time. She's not sure how she got there. Hunter vampire trope is so hot, but it doesn't matter anymore, does it? She's here now. You're not from here. What gave it away? Your accent. You're American. When it's convenient. I suppose it doesn't matter where you come from. You still fit in perfectly with the other bloodthirsty freaks in the city. You amuse me. I definitely can't kill you now. Why not? Why? You must sound disappointed. Of course not. But it doesn't matter what I want. You should do it anyway. My guy. Why? Because we can't both walk away from this. It doesn't work that way. Says who? He rolls his eyes. How about this? If you don't kill me first, I'm gonna stab you in the back as you walk away. With that silly little kitchen knife, I've seen babies with stronger grips on their toys than you've got on that. His grip loosens. Meanwhile, I could kill you with minimal effort right here, right now. I could snap your skinny little neck with my bare hands and not even break a sweat. Only that wouldn't be very fun now, would it? I don't kill as often as you may think, so I like to take pleasure in it when I do. I'll make it slow, slice your neck, but keep the cut shallow, enough that I have to suck the blood out. I prefer to drink straight from the tap, you see. It's more intimate that way. Once I've drained you, I'll dump your corpse behind one of these bins and skip town. By the time someone finds you, I'll be long gone, or I could drain him in another way. Nobody will even know I was here. He lowers his knife, averting his eyes to stare at nothing in particular. Do what you want. There's no one left who would care enough to try and find me anyway. She recognizes the frustration in his eyes all too well. She's seen it countless times in her own reflection. Monsters took someone from him, just like a monster once took someone from her. Well, no one will have to, as I keep saying, I'm not gonna kill you. He hurries to object, but she lifts a finger and that's enough to shut him up. And you can't kill me. You're bold, I'll give you that, but I don't think you can even kill the weakest of us. You're not strong enough, and that's not an insult or a slight against your ego or an attempt at undermining you. It is simply fact. You are too weak. Do you think you're underestimating me a little too much? No, not really. No, I see you exactly as you are. You're no threat to me. You're no threat to anyone. You want revenge, but for whatever reason, you can't kill the one you actually want dead, so you hold all your resentment into the first vampire you can find. Me, apparently. Oh, how lucky. Maybe you thought I'd be an easy kill, maybe you thought you could do it. But if I had to guess, I think you knew you would fail. I think you wanted to die. I imagine you changed your mind by now. Staring death in the face, you're no longer so tough. Still, your pride prevails, so if anything I just said happened to be the truth, you'd never admit to it. Would you? He drops a knife on the ground and Circe knows she's got him. He's not weak because he feels fear, or because he still looks at her like she's a person deserving of empathy, or worse, sympathy. He's weak because he was born that way. Oh geez, ouch, sorry, damn. Circe was much stronger when she met the one who made her. Her maker had spent an eternity mastering the art of pretending to be something he'd never be again. Yet when she laid eyes on him, she'd still seen what he really was. Maker is the creator of another vampire. Oh, a monster. But even knowing that, she'd still lost to him. She'd still been too weak. Not anymore though. If you'd like, I could teach you. Seeing his confusion, she elaborates. How to kill vampires, I mean. You would teach me how to kill your own kind. Yeah, why not? No matter how much of an idiot you think I am, surely you don't think I believe that's a genuine offer. Your kind prey on the weak, but you're loyal to your own, even I know that much. He's not wrong. Contrary to popular belief, most vampires are social creatures. They thrive when they're together, in theory at least. Reality is much more complicated. It's frowned upon, I know, but I don't mind offending people. As a matter of fact, it might just be my favorite pastime. So it's not just me, you're insufferable with everyone. How dare you? But yes. Yes, I am. She offers a hand with a smile far too dangerous for anyone sensible to trust. What do you say? Do we have a deal? Only an idiot would strike a deal with a devil like you. Or someone moderately desperate? Moderately desperate idiot, then. Sighing, he takes her hand, as she bites back a grin. Before I forget, what's your name? Edgar James Thorne. That sounds so pretentious. I'm gonna call you Eddie, okay? If you must. What about you? What's your name? If I told you, would you even use it? Well, yes. That's what people do, isn't it? Call each other by one another's names? It's been a while since anyone has used her name, but she supposes it would be rude to withhold it from him now. They call me Circe. So may you. His grip on her hand tightens. I want to ask you something, Circe. Yes? Well, you told me all that you can. What's gonna stop me from killing you? She allows herself that grin now, showing him all of her teeth. Nothing but your own compassion. And now we're best friends, and we might get to bang-a-lang him later if I really wanted to. North Haven, 1986. Finding Elysium isn't difficult. The dark doesn't bother Circe the way it might others. Even if it did, she's navigated these tunnels enough times to remember each step. And getting inside that poses some trouble. It wasn't always such a hassle. Circe was once a regular at Elysium, cautiously welcomed by its patrons because of her relationship with Lazarus. Lazarus is a founder of Elysium, a gifted vampire, but the specifics of his powers are an open secret few dare to mention to his face. Despite his penchant for dramatics and his infamous reputation as a hedonistic drunkard, Lazarus is still deeply beloved by his patrons who teasingly refer to him as their prince. Lazarus also happens to be the only boyfriend Circe has ever had. When the tumultuous relationship ended some years ago, Lazarus didn't take it very well and indefinitely banned Circe from Elysium. Rumor has it the two have been acquaintances long before they ever stepped foot into North Haven. Monikers, Prince of Elysium, Laz, Arsehole, Dickhead, etc., etc. It's been 6 or so years now since she's been warned to never show her face here again. Of course, that flimsy ban has never stopped her before, nor will it stop her tonight. The bouncer standing guard cut straight to the point. Since you managed to find your way here, I take it you got an invite. It's not a question. Lazarus paid a pretty penny for the spells that ensure only those with an invitation will ever reach Elysium. Fortunately for Circe, no one remembered to amend those spells when she was banned. Oh, you don't recognize me? Wow, my boobs do look great. Should I? Yes? But given that she doesn't recognize him either, he's probably new. Lucky me. What do they call you? Vampire names. When a vampire is born, their maker will grant them a new name. It is not only a sign that they've been reborn, but also a symbol that they've been embraced by their kin. You might not recognize her, but they'll definitely have been warned of her name. She thinks quickly. Donna. It's not going to be on the list. But it doesn't need to be. That's what her talent is for. Talents and gifts are innate powers, passed down from generation to generation through vampiric bloodlines. The further you are away from the primordials, the original line of vampires, the weaker your gift will be. Most modern vampires do not have a gift, making it a symbol of status to have one. Even though some gifts might arguably be more of a curse than a blessing. Donna, Donna, Donna. He flips through the guest list until he hits the bottom of the last page. Yeah, no Donna. He takes a more aggressive stance, but it's all bravado. He reeks of insecurity. She will gladly exploit that. It's been a while, hasn't it? I might be rusty. Well, time to seduce the dude. No, that's not the right strategy for this one. Damn it. Oh, man. Seduction might be a personal favorite of hers, but the method is a hit or miss when it comes to other vampires. Most vamps don't share her appetite for casual sex. Most simply can't be bothered. Without enough blood in your system, it gets quite dead down there. Oh. Wait, does that mean that, like, male vampires can't pitch it? I should intimidate him or persuade him it's a safer bet. Alright, fine. You deny me entry over some stupid freaking list? How dare you? If you know what's good for you, you will let me in. Her voice doesn't come out right, it's a touch too soft. She already knows it's not going to work before the words are even out of her mouth. If your name isn't on the list, you can't get in. That's the rules, Donna. Or whatever it is they actually call you. Oh man, you're new, right? She doesn't let him answer. I assume so, otherwise there's no way you wouldn't remember this face. She gets closer and closer and closer, as much up in his face as their height difference will allow. When you see this face, you should let me in. The bouncer staggers back a step, his confidence rapidly depleting. Her words haven't actually frightened him. It's just how compulsion works. Oh my gosh, she can do compulsion? So basically, it allows you to induce others to follow your will. Man, that's a dangerous power. Or don't. You're more than welcome to wait and see what Nisha will do to you when she learns you turned away one of Elysium's VIPs. Elysium's manager, as well as Lazarus's right-hand woman, she may only be human, but her street smarts have earned her the reluctant respect of Elysium's patrons. For the right price, she sometimes sells information, but nothing would ever jeopardize the future of Elysium. Some of Elysium's patrons like to speculate that Nisha and Lazarus are secretly lovers, but anyone who actually knows them would know that is no more than hogwash. Nisha is like a sister to Lazarus. They bicker often, but he trusts her more than he trusts himself. She's not known for her mercy, but you are new. Perhaps she'll take pity on you. Her words are followed by a lazy, half-assed shrug. Compulsion isn't mind control. Circe can't force people to entirely transgress their own nature. It simply sways people in certain directions. Different methods, seduction, persuasion, intimidation work on different people. The weaker their will, the farther she can push them. With enough practice on the right target, you could convince someone to do almost anything. Oh, you know what? We do have issues with the guest list all the time. Missing names, those sorts of things. They definitely do not. Nisha would never allow it. I almost feel bad for that guy, because my god, he is getting in so much trouble either way. Either he doesn't let us in, and he gets in trouble with us, or he lets us in, and then gets in trouble with Nisha. So it's like, rip that guy either way. He's just always destined for a bad time. Must have forgotten to write you down. Please go ahead, miss. Miss? I mean, ma'am. My lady? Mistress? We'll work on it, yes? She casually pats his shoulders on the way in. Elysium, the only sanctuary in the city for creatures of the night. Vampire-exclusive establishments of any kind are called sanctuaries. Oh, that's cool. Since the 70s, Elysium's been an Epicurean haven for vamps to gather and feast without repercussions. Donors, that's what they call the humans selling their blood here. Some of them are natural masochists taking pleasure in being fed on. Others are only here to make some good money. Most are here for both, and a select few loonies come here with dreams of one day becoming vampires themselves. But to my knowledge, few, if any, have had the honor of experiencing the change. It's been a year since Circe last set foot in Elysium. One quick look around promptly reminds her why she's been avoiding this hellhole. Nothing's changed. Everything's exactly the same. Circe inhales, her stale lungs breathing in the irresistible saccharine scent of blood. The familiarity should comfort her. In a city that's rapidly changing, more so now than ever, Elysium's been one of her only constants, but it gets so damn boring. Among the 40 to 50-something vamps who permanently reside in North Haven, Circe can count on one hand which ones aren't regulars at Elysium. They're a tight-knit group who come here night after night to dance, drink, and smooch. As for what brings Circe herself here tonight, the same reason she always comes to Elysium. She's looking for someone. Let's see. She double-checks a picture the client provided. It's an old photograph. A blonde guy, cute enough if you're in his age group, with baby blue eyes and a smile that's up to no good. Basically, I'm looking for a less alive version of this guy. Cool. She scans the dance floor for a mop of blonde curls, but there is no one. Either our intel was off and he's not here yet, or like most of us, he's taken on a different look in his new life. It's annoying that they don't have a more recent picture, but this is what the client offered and Edgar couldn't find anything more recent. For now, she should find someone who might have a better idea of where she can find him. The question is, should I find Nisha or Lazarus for that? Let's find Lazarus. Let's make it get like messy. Talking to Lazarus is a horrible idea, which is exactly why she's going to do it. She already knows where to find him. He rarely leaves his private lounge. Oh boy, oh my god. Wow, his pants are so low. Look at his cum gutters. Lazarus. He's called by more than one name. Wow, the slow pan is so distracting. The Prince of Elysium. Arsehole. Dickhead. Occasionally Laz, but only by those who have had the misfortune or pleasure. Reviews vary of being part of his inner circle. To Circe, he's just Lazzy. Former fling, current pain in the arse. Oh my god, look at him. He's so pretty. Let me move myself down so I'm like not blocking him. Oh my god, look at him. Wow. Man, his like outfit suits his personality. His hair is so pretty. Don't act shy, baby. Doesn't suit you. Good lord, so yeah, he's hot. Circe steps past the guards and the curtains, eyes doing a quick sweep of the hazy room even though she knows it won't have changed. Eventually her eyes have nowhere else to go but Lazarus. He's sprawled out on that gaudy, overpriced sofa he loves to death, watching her with a look that says he hasn't decided if he should be furious or aroused by her unwelcome appearance. Aroused? He can be aroused. Staring back at him, she almost understands why he captured her interest in the first place. He's got those sad, coked up eyes teenage girls like to fantasize about. In another life, he could have been a famous rock star. His gaunt face and cocksure grin would have been plastered all over the city, on billboards and magazine covers, and as a drunken tattoo on some poor college girl's ass. In this life, he's nothing but wasted potential. But he's not completely useless, you just have to approach him the right way. Well, he did say don't be shy, so we're just gonna talk. Circe starts talking before he's even sat up. Don't you get sick of talking like that? Like what? She mimics his ridiculous accent. I'm Lazarus and I like naked chicks and big guitars and rock and roll and even bigger. Of course, Lazarus responds by exaggerating it even more. You know you like it, baby. No, I don't. She gags. You know, I prefer it if you called me a bitch. I'm not that much of a dick. Then invite me to sit, if you're such a gentleman. He pretends to hesitate, but he's so impatient he can't maintain the charade for any longer than a second. Whatever. You're already here. Go on, beautiful. Have a seat. On him? Is he a seat? May I sit on him? She eyes the seat opposite him for any suspicious fluids before she sits. Why suspicious fluids? Laz, were you jorking it onto the chair? Better safe than sorry. As petty as ever, aren't you? Me? Petty? I don't know what you're talking about. Sure you don't. What brings you here tonight? I'm looking for someone. Oh, wow. That's a bad word, Laz. That's a naughty word. The French slips out without his permission, a reminder of his real accent. Lazarus cranes his head back and groans. Oh, he's French. Ah, freaking course you are. Who's the unlucky man this time? Who says it's a man? You're wearing that sadistic smile you only put on when you're about to torture some poor bastard. She fishes out the photograph from her bustier, pretending she doesn't notice how his eyes shamelessly linger on her cleavage. He's gonna ask to, like, hook up. I don't know what they call him, but I hear he's a fangling. Apparently he's been seen around Elysium these past few nights. Is that supposed to mean anything to me? She shoves the photo forward with impatience. He's one of your patrons, you tell me. Lazarus squints at the picture. Oh, this picture better be freaking ancient. Kid has no style at all. He'll look totally out of place in Elysium. I'm not here for your opinion on his abysmal sense of fashion. Do you know him or not? He squints harder. Yeah, no, I've got no clue who this is. And thank hell for that, I get nauseous just looking at him. Could it really be that bad? Is that what you're focused on right now? Do you want me to lie to you? Kid's got an unfortunate face, it's not my fault. Damn! He turns away from the photo like it's offended him. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, you don't actually suspect I'm allergic to the anesthetic. Circe rolls her eyes, stashing the picture back inside her bustier. Anyway, you know very well it's Nisha's job to keep track of who comes and goes. I've got more important shit to do. She eyes the glasses scattered around his table, like drinking yourself to death over and over again. Lazarus rolls his eyes at the question. They both know why he feels the need to drink as much as he does. Yeah, so useless, damn. I guess he really is just a pretty face. Nisha loves responsibility, I don't. That's why we're perfect partners. Remind me, what do you contribute to this partnership? A lot. Like? You know what? Nothing comes to mind at this moment, but I'm sure there's something. There is so much attitude, I love him. Elysia might be Lazarus's brainchild, but when it comes to running the place, he'll only know what he wants to do. Which isn't much. It's his right-hand Nisha, a human who manages everything. Most of his patrons protested when she was appointed manager, but she's had a decade to earn their grudging respect. When Nisha finally decides to usurp you, I'm taking her side. Yeah, right, you miss me too much if something happened to me. I disagree. Care to find out who's right? He downs the rest of his drink, and at the same time, gesturing for another with his free hand. One of the donors on standby slices her palm, dripping fresh blood into a clean glass. She hands it over with an adoring smile. Damn, really? Seriously? For you, master. Thanks. Oh my god, he's such a slut. He accepts it without even glancing at the woman who obediently scuttles back to her corner in the room. Circe watches the entire interaction in disgust. Can we be honest, Circe? Come on, let's be honest. You're a smart woman. You already knew I wouldn't know him. He sips his drink with surprising restraint, watching her over the rim of his glass. So, why come to me? In all honesty, she's not sure. I mean, I knew why I came to him because I went to see him because I thought he was going to be hot, and he was. It's definitely not because she missed him. Lazarus has a way of crawling under her skin that makes her feel alive again, but she's never been a masochist. Maybe she was hoping he'd be the cure to the chronic boredom haunting her as of late. Could that be it? How naive of me. Elysium hasn't changed since she was last here. And the same goes for Lazarus. He puts on a good show with his theatrics, but he's just as permanent as the rest of them. Unable to grow, unable to change, unable to escape this. Wanna sleep with me tonight? Yeah. She says the most inappropriate thing that first comes to mind. Wanna sleep with me tonight? Nah. What? You could at least pretend to consider it, now it's awkward. Hey, if it were up to me alone, you would never leave my bed. You're the one who doesn't actually want to, you're just looking for tonight's distraction. I'm not gonna be a distraction again, don't invite me to your bed unless you're planning to let me stay. Okay, you know what, that's fair. There you go again, assuming what I do or do not want. Why not listen to the words coming out of my mouth instead? Because your lips can lie, but your heart can't. Here it comes. Lazarus' signature look. Those tragic, puffy eyes. Oh my god, he's so cute. I would fall for that. Look at it. I would be absolutely weak. You forget I know your heart. Ah, oh, bite me. Ooh, kinky. She stands up, more than ready to get the hell out of here. Lazarus chucks his glass aside and leans forward, reaching out. Do not touch me. And stops right before their fingers can brush. Wasn't going to. He reclines again, hands raised in mock peace. Look, it's no secret I have a soft spot for you. I've always been lenient when it comes to your hobbies. I'm still running a business here. Elysium's clientele have certain expectations when it comes to safety. So I can't let you prance in here as you wish and murder one of them on a whim. Haven't we already been over this? I feel like we have. More than once. The conversation tends to end in her favor. Who said anything about murder? Do I look freaking stupid to you? Fine. Who says I need your permission to kill him? Don't worry, I'm under no impression that words alone will be enough to stop you. You respond far better to other methods. Is that a threat? What? No. If I say it is, will you leave without killing my customer? No, I'll just kick you in the balls first. Hot. What the hell? You freak. But also, you freak. You're disgusting. Baby, you know your threats always turn me on. Oh, I love him. Lazarus straightens in his seat, as much as his permanently inebriated state allows him to. Look, I don't give a shit what my clients get up to outside Elysium, but inside my club, murder kinda sucks for business. But you don't want to have that fangling as one of your patrons anyway. He's the bottom of the barrel scum who preys on vulnerable women, escorts on the homeless, whoever else he's decided won't be missed. Is he wrong in thinking that? Yes. Okay, now she's seriously considering kicking him. Just one kick. He wouldn't even feel the pain through all the substances he's been abusing. Keep your fangs to yourself, little bat. I'm not saying I agree with his choice of sustenance, but I'm sure we can both see where his reasoning comes from. Or are you gonna pretend he's the only vamp in North Haven to prey on the most vulnerable? As Lazarus gets more agitated, his real accent starts to slip through. We cannot all be like you. We cannot all be bothered to pretend like we can be friends with our food. Circe curls her lips at the snub. Besides, if I start judging all our patrons based on their conduct outside Elysium, I wouldn't have any customers left. Well, before you suggest that could be a good thing, consider this. Without an endless legal supply of fresh blood, who do you think all the hungry vamps in the city are gonna feed on? He's got a point. The sexy slut man has a point. Damn it, he's making sense. She hates it when he does. It's only a matter of time before he attacks one of your donors. Now that makes him pause. Lazarus has never tried to hide his lack of love for humans, but he does care for the well-being of his donors. Who knows if it's out of genuine empathy, hidden somewhere deep inside that dead heart of his, or if it's just because them dying would be an inconvenience, but he tries to keep them out of harm's way. That would be bad for business. You got a particular reason to believe he would do that. Call it a bat's intuition. Or just common freaking sense, but Lazarus never listened to that, so no. Intuition? I've listened to your intuition before, it's gotten me into trouble one too many times to count. It's also saved your ass plenty of times, hasn't it? I guess. Alright. Say I believe you. I still can't ban the Fangling until he's actually broken one of Elysium's rules, and it made me look bad. But if you leave him be and he hurts one of your donors, you'll look even worse. Damn, this is inconvenient. He scratches his nose. A nervous tick he's had as long as she's known him. It never fails to irritate her. Alright, how about this? If he really is just some nobody Fangling, I could hypothetically turn a blind eye. Like he believes himself, some people are simply too unimportant to be remembered when they're gone. Don't do whatever you're gonna do anywhere around here though. Don't want Orion and his circus to come around here to snoop around. Orion is hot. He is the head of the supernatural investigation department, and you can see him in the other rat that I played. Or even worse, that lilac-eyed bastard you're so fond of, Abraxas? I'm not fond of him, that's your paranoia talking. Of course I can be discreet. Just make you a sycophant know that I have permission to roam Elysium freely for the night. I'll let the staff know to send the Fangling your way if they see him, but be quick about it. Makes people nervous to see North Haven's biggest vampire slayer loitering around. Couldn't pay me to stay another minute. She's already said more than she wants to, but of course, Lazarus isn't done yet. He has to have the final word. Anytime I don't see you for a while, I forget how infuriating you can be. She's afraid to meet his gaze, already knowing what awaits. That look of pure, unadulterated affection. Wow, he's really into this. It's insanely sexy. You're impulsive, haven't I told you that? More than once. Gets me rock hard every time. Ridiculous. Don't worry, you don't need to like me back. I enjoy the violent sadness your revulsion brings me. Because Lazarus loves to wallow. It's all he ever does. He'd even done it during their entire thing together, whatever it had been. She's happily sworn off relationships since theirs ended. Clearly, they're just not for her. And yet, a part of her still... No, love's just not for me. I'm sorry for the way things ended. I should have appreciated you more. It's the same speech every time. You're right to break up with me then, but it's never too late to take me back. Shut up! Guys, we are not folding. He's toxic. We are not folding for this man. Bends over. Please? Say nothing back. We didn't even get an option to fold. Oh, please. Who is she trying to pretend she is? The bigger person? You cannot seriously want that. I want you all the time, Circe. I always have. We were awful together. With or without you, I'm a poor excuse for a man. We might as well be awful together. Where's your sense of shame, Lazzy? Shame? What would I need that for? Oh, I love him. Shame is a disease. All it does is stop you from going after what you really want. Maybe what we want isn't what's best for us. When has either of us cared what's best for us? Her skin crawls under his intense stare. Whatever, I've got a Fangling to catch. Very well, see you in a few months, I guess. Lazarus doesn't try to hold her back this time. She leaves, feeling more disappointed than she deserves to. She should have known tonight wouldn't be any different. She's not sure why she even wanted it to be. Not much time passes before one of Elysium's goons notifies Circe of the Fangling's arrival. Apparently they call him Seth. One of Laz's lackeys picked up his name from Nisha. Seth is a cool name though. I actually like the name Seth. Moments later, Circe finds Seth loitering near the stage. She was right to assume he's changed since the photograph. He's at least a few years older, though still young enough to have just graduated university. He's shaved off the baby fat and grown a mediocre mustache, but the cheeky smile he shoots her way is identical to the one in the picture. For a split second, Circe hesitates. They still look so young, so full of life even in death. And then she remembers what he's done. She remembers the women he's hurt. She remembers he deserves this. Hey, he's grinning from ear to ear, a little too brightly for someone who's supposed to be dead as she closes in. Well, hello there. What do they call you? Does it matter? You're welcome to call me whatever you want. Really? Typical of a fangling, Seth is a slave to his own impulses. Perhaps he's merely deferring to her as an older vampire, or he simply can't help his excitement at a woman showing interest in him first. Either way, she smiles, deciding there's no point in wasting time. Seduction has always come easiest for her. You should come somewhere with me. Somewhere more private. Seth lunges at the opportunity without reservation. Sure, when? I can go anytime. Now. Where to? She hides her disgust behind a well-timed giggle. Come with me. She slips her hand into his and guides the overly eager vamp through the crowd. The bouncer, who almost didn't let her in earlier, still guards the entrance. He doesn't say anything when he sees them, simply watching as they disappear down the dark tunnel. When they get out of the tunnels, Circe leads Seth through the streets with confidence, knowing exactly where to bring him. It's where I met Eddie for the first time, 20 years ago. I spared his life that night, but I've ended many lives there to since make up for it. Seth doesn't shut up once. I've never been with a vamp before. Is it better than sex with humans? Should we get some blood first? He enjoys the sound of his own voice too much. Not even once does he question her silence. Seth stops at the end of the dingy alley, far away enough from Elysium to maintain her end of the deal. Seth looks around with a frown. You gonna do this here? Wouldn't a nice girl like you prefer a hotel? Not a girl. Seth's jaw drops stupidly. You mean... I was referring to my age. Oh, he thought that we had a waiter. Oh yeah, of course not. I'm sure you're experienced. Anyway, I'd invite you back to mine, but I don't have a place yet. Just rolled into North Haven the other night, just getting my shit sorted out. She ignores him, letting him laugh nervously to himself while she looks around, checking there's no junkies or creeps hiding behind the corner. It seems like it's just the two of us here, and he's back to being excited. Oh, you dirty girl, you're the king for doing it outside, yeah? Ew! Ew! Yeah, ew! You picked a great spot then. No way anyone will find us here. God, kill him now! As long as we're on the same page. She lunges for him, grabbing him by the throat and shoving him up against the wall. He's gonna really like that. Gah! He doesn't need air to survive. But he's forgotten that in his panic. He gasps desperately, clawing at the hand wrapped tight around his neck. Seth stares into his eyes the entire time. She doesn't want to miss the moment the fight leaves him. The moment he realizes he doesn't stand a chance. She's older. Stronger. She's going to kill him. She's going to freaking kill him. Please. She only notices he's crying when a stray tear hits her skin. Typical, when threats don't work, they always resort to begging. Please don't. Please, I don't know what I've done to piss you off, but... She can feel the joy seeping out of her as Seth's crying grows louder. She forgot how annoying it can be to kill fanglings. They're too sensitive. Whether it's pain or pleasure, they feel everything too strongly. That's why they don't last long without an older vampire to guide them in their first year. Leave them alone to their own antics and they'll screw like rabbits and die like cattle. Why are you doing this to me? Quit wailing and I'll get to that part. It's a little hard not to wail when you're about to kill me, but sure, I'll be bloody quiet. She lifts her chin, daring him to speak another word. I'm waiting. Perfect. Listen, I think we can both agree you've been stupid. Least you could have done is be more careful with where you take your meals. Not eaten as many sheep from the same pen, then maybe no one would have noticed. But no, on top of that, you were childish enough to play with your food and leave evidence behind. Yeah, I don't like Seth. Just murk him. She sees the exact moment her words start to seep into his dumb little brain. The games you like weren't very fun for your playmates, weren't they? Of course, you liked that they didn't like it, didn't you? That's what this is about. They were freaking into it. And you talk like I've been touching them. I haven't. I never said that. I'm not sick. My mom taught me better. I see. So she warned you not to stick your dick where it's unwanted, but she forgot to tell you not to eat people. Don't bother denying it. You torture them, Seth. You snack on their flesh while they still breathe. Ew! Oh my god! So what if I like to steal a bite? Their blood is good enough to drink, but their flesh is too dirty for us? Even vampires tried meat once. Yes, even you. I bloody know you have. I already told you, they freaking enjoyed it. Her fingers twitch, her grip on his throat threatening to tighten. Did they tell you that before or after you drained and defiled them? I'd ask them personally, but last I checked, the dead don't talk. Well, with the exception of us. Why does that even matter? Aren't we the same? Aren't we? Then you should know it isn't fair to judge me. We're freaking vampires, apex predators, top of the food chain. Who cares what happens to the cattle? Oh god, can you get even more cliche? See, that's the problem with vampires like yourself. You have no regard for consequences. You think that just because you can, you should. Let me clue you in on a little secret. She squeezes hard, strangling him. Oh my god, that came out of nowhere. You shouldn't have. Release him. Abraxas? Oh my god, is it Abraxas? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Release him. I will not repeat myself. Maybe you should, because I like the sound of your voice. There's only one vampire in the city who would dare order Circe around like that. Oh my god, it's the one that I want to boink the most. Oh my god, look at him. Oh, he's so hot. Abraxas? Oh my god. You just tell? He's got like a massive rack. This is your final warning, Miss Circe. I strongly recommend you heed it. I want you. Oh, I want to hold his hand. Oh, his hand's like veiny. Oh, I want to touch him. I heard you the first time, Abraxas, but I'm not one of your lapdogs. You should ask nicely if you want me to do something for you. As if playing nice with you has ever done anyone any good. How would you know? You never tried. You try and distract me, but your efforts are in vain. Tonight, I have even less patience for your antics as usual. Seth is under the protection of the Supernatural Secrecy Force. If you harm as much as a hair on his head, you'll be in defiance of North Haven's supernatural law. What the fuck? Why? Privately owned counterterrorism and intelligence agency, secretly operating under political and financial support from multiple governments and private individuals. Ew, a privatized intelligence agency is gross. Yucky! Purely out of childish spite, she considers plucking a hair from Seth's head just to prove a point. It'll grow back in seconds after all. Release him. Let me handle him. How about I handle you right here, right now? Drop your pants. I'm gonna be so honest, there's nothing sluttier than a completely closed man. Tell me I'm wrong. Cause when you suddenly get like a glimpse of like his wrist or like his ankle or like his like waist, you're just like, whoa. Like that's hot as hell. Meh. It's not as if this would be my first crime. I've broken at least 2 laws just tonight. This is a serious matter. You're a serious matter. Let me do you. How serious? I cannot say much. Just know that Seth is our only witness to an important investigation. I am? He is? In a surprise, Circe drops Seth on his behind. Seth scrambles to his feet, running to hide behind Abraxas' imposing frame. Yeah, I'm sure it is imposing. He should impose it on top of me, in bed. Yeah. It's hard to tell, but beneath that thick jacket, Abraxas is hiding almost 6 feet and 5 inches of lean muscle. Oh my god. Wow. Oh, he's so hot and so tall. Yandere. Relax. If only he'd use all his muscles for something productive, like throwing me around the bedroom. So true. That's so real. But I digress. Normally, no self-respecting vampire would run to an SSF agent for help. But Seth either doesn't know that, or yeah, no, he definitely has no respect for himself. Follow me. One of my agents is waiting for us around the corner. Hey, where do you think you're going? I'm not done with you. Abraxas answers without a pause. I am. I'm not. I fail to see how that's my problem. Abraxas couldn't look more bored if he tried. It's infuriating how he always carries himself with perfect poise. Even as his shoulders hang heavy with guilt he thinks no one can see. Thank you for not putting up too much of a fight this time, Miss Circe. I appreciate it when you're willing to cooperate. Wow. I'm assuming he's quite dominant in the bedroom. You know, it'd be so hot though if he's like really dominant outside and during work, but when he's like in the bedroom, he's more of a sub and like whimpers and blushes. Unlike the rest of his good-for-nothing squad, Abraxas has never, not even once, flinched in the face of her wrath. But there's always a time for fuss. Collaborate. You want me to show you how I collaborate? Yeah, collaborate this, pokes his boob. She storms up to him. Even in heels, she has to glare up at him, but his height difference has never intimidated her. This is unnecessary. I could hear you perfectly fine where you stood. Yes, but I wanted to poke your boob. Go fuck yourself. Or let me do it. Not even a flinch. Look at him rolling his eyes. He's just like, ugh. Very mature. You're more than welcome to waste my time any other night, Miss Circe, just not this one. He tries to sidestep her, but she follows him, blocking his path. Poke his other boob. Don't pretend you're above this. You love arguing with me. That's why you're always in my business, messing with my work. His brows furrow. It's the only hint that her words have affected him in any way. He's so hot. He's like my favorite. I'm not in your business, you're in mine. Do you want to be in my business? Spreads legs. Right, sure. That's why I stalked you here. Oh wait, that wasn't me. That was you. Oh, please, I did not stalk you. Then how'd you find us? Coincidence. And somehow I don't think it's a coincidence. Coincidence. Seriously. That's the best you could think of. It isn't the first time you brought prey to this alley. I was in the area looking for Seth and figured it would be worth a look. So there's nothing more than a coincidence that I found you. He moves to pass her again, but she moves again to block him. Do you even know who you're protecting here? Do you know what this bastard does to his victims? He doesn't just drain them, he tortures them. He deserves worse than death. You're one to talk, you just tried to kill me. Seth pushes out his chest, mimicking Abraxas' stance the best he can. Oh, don't make me fuck you up. You saw what she did. You saw everything, right, Captain? Oh, you have no self-respect for yourself. You conniving, sniveling... Quiet. The Seth only gets louder. You did. You saw how this she-devil threatened me. That's attempted murder. What are you waiting for? Do your job and arrest her. Seth doesn't rise to her own defense. There's no need, because she sees Abraxas's response coming from a mile off. On what grounds? What? I just told you she tried to murder me. That isn't something the SSF is concerned with. We cannot get involved every time there's a minor squabble between two supernaturals. But shut it. They trade a peeved glance at the unintentional coordination. After a stony stare, Abraxas is the first to break the tense silence. You have no authority here, Miss Circe. Now go your way and I'll go mine. The palm of his cold hand goes along the small of her back. Oh, that would destroy me. Gently pushing her aside. Oh, that would absolutely wreck me. Oh, I'm gonna be so watched. A hand on like the small of my back just like gently guiding me is gonna like... Oh, you there? Then he grabs Seth by the elbow to drag him to the mouth of the alley. Seth follows right at their heels. What happens to him after you get what you need? We'll follow protocol and release him. But he's a criminal. Because he's predictable like that, Abraxas just offers her the usual spiel. The SSF is a counterterrorism and intelligence agency. We investigate and neutralize supernatural threats for the greater good of society. We have neither the time nor a reason to chase down all the addicts, muggers, and vandals who haunt these streets. But even if I want to do something, we have no case against him. I cannot abuse the law by detaining him without proof of a crime. My word is your proof. Have I ever lied to you before? Many times. I'm not lying this time. Abraxas pauses, turning to look at her. She meets his assessing stare with confidence. If you have proof that this vampire violated supernatural law, you should gather your evidence and report it to the Supernatural Crime Division. I'll put in a word with the inspector or whoever's on shift to make sure he's looked into as soon as possible. And if he is indeed guilty of the claims you make, I'll personally ensure that he gets what he deserves. Can you ensure that I get what I deserve, which is your stake in my No, you please step aside and let me do my job. Ooh, I do like a man who says please. She steps back, hiding her fangs between tightly pressed lips. Fine. She's not going to report shit. By the time they get through the backlog to his files, Seth will have already fled the city. She'll surrender him to SSF custody for now. There's no other option. But as soon as he's out of their sight, Seth snickers under his breath. Don't you dare. I'm going to, like, make sure you no longer exist. Serves you right, you stupid Hey! 1 second, Seth's taunting her. The next he's curled up on the floor, clutching his broken nose as he cries out in pain. Oh, fuck, what was that for? Did Abraxas just punch him for us? Because that's hard as hell. It happened so fast. She almost misses a look of uncharacteristic rage on Abraxas's face. Mind your tongue in the presence of a lady, clearing his throat. He actually has the audacity to look sheepish when his eyes meet Circe's. Abraxas just backhanded a guy for us. Oh my god, I want to bend him over right now. I know I'm a vampire as well, but hello, Abraxas, do you need a juice box? We'll take a detour. The nose will heal before we reach the office. I hope your car crashes on the way, and maybe Seth will die. Stupid Seth. We hate Seth, don't we? For a split second, she thinks she sees the ghost of a smile grace his lips. I'll grace his lips with something else. Mine. Great. Now I'm hallucinating. Good night to you too, Miss Circe. He grabs the back of Seth's hoodie, effortlessly lifting him with one arm and carrying him out of the alley. She doesn't watch them leave. She's too pissed to spend another second here. Honestly, she should just let us kill him. Once she's certain she's still alone, she transforms. Look how cute I am. And flies into the night. Man, my home is so pretty. Circe flies through an open window of her flat. Miss Circe, Miss Circe, Miss Circe. She transforms just in time to land on her feet inside. Who the hell does he think he is? Wow, I'm so pretty. Can you imagine Abraxas and us absolutely bang-a-langin' and he still calls us Miss Circe? I'd lose my freaking mind. She stalks around the tiny space, cursing Abraxas in every language known to mankind. She's never known anyone more frustrating. She pulls to a stop in front of a mirror so she can adjust her underclothes and check her makeup, but her reflection makes her pause. Sometimes I wish the myths were true and vampires didn't have reflections. When she sees herself in the mirror, she can never resist picking her appearance apart. The red lips, painted that color so her mouth would match her eyes. The black hair she frantically restyles with every change of seasons. A body that stopped aging the year she turned 22. Only a few days short of 23. She tries to carry herself to show that she's older than she looks, but staring herself down in the mirror, she can't help but feel hopelessly young. In the near 100 years of her existence, she's reinvented herself dozens of times. So why do I still look so alike the girl I used to be? I wish I could forget her, but every time I see myself, there she is. At least she's beautiful. A small mercy. I'm too old to mope around like this. Circe picks her clothes back up, slipping them back on. It's embarrassing, really. Letting Abraxas shake her confidence like this, I'll let him shake me in another way. I have a cat! She smirks. Back again, I see. She quiets her steps, sneaking around as she searches for the little intruder. Come out wherever you are. She catches the culprit under a haphazardly discarded bra. Her neighbor's cat. Wait, I don't have a cat. How'd you manage to escape your owner this time, She psst at Ellie, luring her from behind her hiding spot. She's not sure the sounds actually make a difference. The cat just seems to really like her. Circe's neighbor's cat. She likes to sneak into our flat. Aww. Why else would you sneak in here all the time, She picks the cat up, cradling her in her arms and pressing a kiss to her head. Poor Mrs. Harris has to be worried sick about you. Wait here, I'll have Eddie take you home. I'll take that as a yes, ma'am. Good kitty. Downstairs, she finds Edgar hunched over on his desk, nose buried in mountains of paperwork. Hi, Edgar. 20 years later and he's so handsome. When Eddie's working, he might as well be dead to the rest of the world. Oh gee, that sounds familiar. The only sign he's an actual living person and not an eerily realistic statue is when his hand moves to scratch at his 5 o'clock shadow. Sometimes it's all too easy to forget that Edgar isn't the same boy I met 20 years ago. Edgar is the only human companion she's ever had. She knows their relationship isn't conventional. Vampires don't keep the companies of humans they aren't feeding on or sleeping with or planning to change. But Edgar isn't a blood bag or a quick fuck or a toy to her. He's a friend. Aww. Perhaps her only friend in this world. When we first met, we looked the same age. Perhaps that's why it felt so strange to watch him grow while I didn't. Growing old suits him. Where he used to be cute, he's now handsome. He is so handsome. Slip into his lap. Yeah. Circe crawls over the desk and into his lap. She buries her nose in his collar and inhales. He smells the same as always. Like coffee, tobacco, and cheap body wash. Comfortable? She's done this enough times that it barely phases him anymore, which is disappointing. Oh well, it just means that she has to try a little harder to fluster him. Very comfortable. Glad one of us is. Bored, she slips out of his lap and sits on the edge of the desk instead. You never guess what happened again tonight. Abraxas messed up the job, didn't he? She was talking about Ellie, but being reminded of Abraxas sours her mood. How'd you know? Heard you cussing up a storm upstairs. Ah, right, thin floors. Edgar doesn't ask for details, well aware that Circe will supply them regardless. It never takes much for her to go off on another one of her rants about Abraxas and the Supernatural Secrecy Force. They've been a thorn in their operation since the very start. Separate from the Supernatural Crime Division, the SSF are an intelligence agency specialized in so-called counterterrorism. Bluntly speaking, they've been ordered to do whatever it takes to ensure that the existence of supernaturals remains a secret from the larger world. They spy and manipulate the narrative behind the scenes, only stepping forward when an incident grows big enough that it threatens exposure. On occasion, they'll even directly eliminate assumed threats. The SSF higher-ups are all mortals, but they send supernaturals like Abraxas to do the dirty fieldwork for them. Abraxas can do my dirty fieldwork and plow my fields. Many would insist that the SSF are a necessary evil, but everyone still thinks supernaturals who join up are sellouts. Innocence or guilt matters little to the SSF. Their job is quite literally to brush things under the rug, usually at the expense of non-humans. Cities that have experienced the rise of vampires don't let the SSF anywhere near if they can help it. Okay, so it refers to single or several vampire clans to set up a stronghold in a certain region. But in places like North Haven, it's hard to get all the different non-humans to agree on anything other than not wanting humans to discover us. I'm not surprised they intervened again, but I am surprised they haven't shut Thorn investigations down yet, given our egregious list of violations. I don't like Abraxas any more than you do, but I've got to give it to him. His patience with you has been impressive. I'll give something else to him. Now, careful, that almost sounded like a compliment. But Edgar's not wrong. Circe should be a major liability in the SSF books. Can't have Abraxas and Eddie and Lazarus. You got 2 hands and 3 holes for a reason. She's bent or outright broken their rules plenty of times, yet Abraxas doesn't report half the stuff she gets up to. Because of that, he now seems to believe that she owes him some kind of favor. As if I ever asked for his help. You know what? Oh my god, look at that. Maybe he fancies you. My colossal ego is inclined to agree, but I don't think that's it. Besides, he's married. But his wife passed away ages ago. And yet, even after all this time, he still hasn't taken off his wedding ring. About 15 years ago, when they'd spoken face to face for the first time, it had been one of the first things she noticed about him. At the time, she'd been disappointed. Assuming his wife was still alive, she's done a lot of awful things without guilt, but sleeping with married men was something she'd like to avoid. In hindsight, she recognizes she dodged a bullet, even if only barely. It's a long time, I suppose. Edgar scratches his nose bridge, giving away how nervous he is. It never fails to amuse her how easy he is to read. Oh, that's quite sad, isn't it? He must have loved her very much. Must be painful, missing someone that long, I guess. Circe knows far too well what it feels like to mourn someone you'll never hold again. It doesn't have to mean that you love them, but Edgar wouldn't be thinking about her experience in this moment. He must be thinking about his sister. On to more fun matters. Remember what day it is? With everything going on tonight, she nearly forgotten herself, so she can't say that she blames him when Edgar pulls a face that he definitely doesn't remember. Of course I remember, it's February 19th? 21st? First of all, it's March. Is it really? Can never tell when it's raining all year round anyway. Oh, fine, I'll tell you. It's our anniversary. Our what? It's been 20 years since the night we first met. Is that something to celebrate? Pretend to be annoyed. You don't value me at all. She slapped his arm, not with any real strength, obviously, or she'd break him. You weren't seriously expecting an anniversary gift, were you? What if I was? And then warn you not to expect one for our 30th either. Oh my god, look at him. Can you imagine? Can you imagine this face? Looking down at you? While you're both like spelunking, and then he just like takes his glasses off and whips them off and throws them to the side of the room, and then runs a hand through his hair to push his bangs back. I would lose my goddamn mind. 30 years working together in the same city. Will we get that far? Do I even want to? Edgar eyes her awkwardly. You're not actually upset, are you? No, just sorely disappointed by your lack of camaraderie. Edgar lights a cig, barely hiding a grin when he shoves it between his lips. Shoves something else between his lips. Circe smirks back at him. This kind of banter has long been part of their daily routine. She provokes him, he retorts with some snark, they laugh or roll their eyes and rinse and repeat. It had taken a while to get here, of course. When they first met, Edgar was so angry with the world he took everything as an insult. He's mellowed out over the years, gotten better at reserving his anger for when it's actually warranted. Most of the time, I should let our client know that we didn't get the fangling. Bleh. It's annoying, but they don't have any other option. Their anonymous client was clear in their instructions. Seth must die tonight, or else, no reward. With Seth SSF's custody, there's no way they can get to him before the sun's up. Just realized. We'll have to return the deposit, won't we? It's the right thing to do. Can we afford to do that? Her your request we've taken fewer jobs as of late, so we're stretched even thinner than usual. If we want to feel more secure about keeping the lights on, you could take a few more cases. Or spend less on clothes. Why would I do either of those things when you're always working so hard to make sure we're a month ahead on rent? I've only got so much hair, Circe. And I've only got so many dresses. Edgar heaves a sigh. I thought you might say that. I'll just take it out of my own pay then. She nods, pleased with his quick thinking. Anyway, that can all wait till tomorrow. Let's go to the Golden Cat and celebrate our 20th. Woohoo! You need to use our anniversary as an excuse. We go there every night. But tonight will be special. Drinks on me. Technically it's our rapidly depleting business funds that we'll be paying, but the sentiment stands. You sure know how to spoil a bat. So that's a yes. Yes. Alright. Just let me fetch my coat. Oh my god, he looks so handsome with a coat. The story of my life was 68 spouses. Can't believe it wasn't 69. Damn it, Yinny. Why do I feel like I'm forgetting something important? Uh-oh. They share a knowing look. I only know one person who knocks like that. You take it. I always answer the door. Only because you're so good at it. Edgar puts out a cig and walks over to the door, opening it to reveal... Edgar! Circe, thank goodness you're still here! Mrs. Harris, the next-door neighbor, rushes inside. She's a kind old woman who thankfully never complains about the suspicious people going and coming out of Thorn investigation at all hours. It helps that her eyesight isn't what it used to be. Same goes for her hearing, actually. Oh, I'm so sorry to bother you. I know how busy you are doing your detective work, saving the day and all that. But I can't find my baby anywhere. Her baby being her cat, Ellie. I feel awful bringing this to you at this hour, but would you mind having a look for her? I couldn't sleep knowing she's somewhere out there cold and alone and lost. Shivering to death, my poor baby. Her wailing's loud enough to wake up the entire building. Edgar starts to sweat. Edgar doesn't look like he's in the mood to go on a cat hunt. Luckily for him, they won't have to. Good news, we already found her. Her bawling immediately stops. You did? Yes, she's upstairs. She is? Edgar guides Mrs. Harris to the sofa. She sinks into it with relief. Oh, how lucky I am to have the city's finest detectives as my neighbors. It's not that hard to find someone who's hiding inside your own home. Circe retrieves Ellie from upstairs, hesitantly returning her to her owner. Edgar watches the exchange with amusement. He's been nagging for ages that she should just stroll down to the shelter and pick up a cat of her own. Sadly, I lack the confidence to keep something living alive. Oh, thank you. Mrs. Harris hugs the cat to her chest. Ellie lets out a not-so-pleased meow. You say my baby again, how can I repay you two? It's nothing. We're glad to help you anytime free of charge. Nonsense, I'll bake you biscuits and bring them over tomorrow. Knowing she wouldn't even be able to eat them, and no good would come from having Mrs. Harris lurking around unless necessary, Circe tries to tell her, there's really no need. We love that, thank you so much. Seriously? Edgar looks offended. I'm always serious about dessert. Always so cute. Very good, Mr. Thorne. It is important for growing boys to eat plenty. Good joke. The only thing Edgar's growing is a pitiful beard. Edgar rubs his jaw. And for that you need plenty of calories. Sure, sure. Circe gently gets Mrs. Harris up from out of her chair and guides her to the door. Whole way there, Mrs. Harris rambles about what she's gonna bake tomorrow. Circe almost has to shove her out the door. When it's finally shut behind her, Circe turns to glare at Edgar. What? It'd be foolish of me to turn away free food. Anyway, with Mrs. Harris gone, there's only one thing left to do. Drinks? Drinks. Woohoo! Drinks! The Golden Cat is almost the polar opposite of Elysium. All supernaturals and even a few humans who are in the know come here. As long as you keep your fangs, claws and wands, whenever you got to yourself, you're welcome to pop in for a drink. Look at Edgar in his coat. Oh. Entering the pub, Circe's eyes immediately hone in on one guest in particular. Oh, look, it's your little friend. Oh my god, it's Raoul. Oh, Raoul's so hot. He's so pretty. Raoul, a local cop with muscles that aren't just for show. He's seated near the bar, nursing a beer in one hand. I'll nurse him with one hand, if you know what I mean. Or two. Don't call him that. The way you phrase it makes it sound indecent. But he is your friend. Last I checked, your only friend. I have other friends. There's Richard back in my hometown, though I haven't spoken to the Pratt in some time or even thought about him in a while. There's, you. We're friends, aren't we? The blush? Aww. Oh, of course. Embarrassed by how much his words mean to her, Circe is quick to change the subject. Thankfully, Edgar doesn't seem to mind, looking a little more than flustered himself. By the way, Raoul's like gay, right? What makes you say that? He's never responded to any of my flirting. Perhaps he's just not into you. No, he's definitely gay. She only flirts with Raoul to mess with Edgar, but it still surprises her Edgar hasn't noticed his friend's not into women. Is he really so oblivious, or is Raoul just that private? Maybe it's easier for her to tell because she also enjoys the company of her own sex. Wait, you've been flirting with him? That's what he was mulling over. They walk up to Raoul. Edgar greets him first. Yeah, the blush makes him so cute. Evening, Raoul. Did you get off work early tonight? Edgar and Raoul have an interesting friendship, if you can call it that. They meet up every few weeks, but it's never a planned thing. They'll just sit next to each other and chat over a few drinks, bonding over being humans in the world of supernaturals or whatever. Oh, hello, Edgar. Unfortunately, I'm technically still on the clock. He's so pretty. Good to see you as well, Circe. Have you been well? Raoul nods to Circe, acknowledging her too. He's smiling, but she can't tell if it's out of politeness or if he's genuinely happy to see them. Sure, but what about you? Are you here on official business? Anything we should look out for? Well, she takes a look around. Where's your pup, by the way? Rare to see you without him. Barely a moment after he's mentioned, Circe watches Dante, Raoul's police partner, step inside the bar. Dante is so hot. Dante is... Look at him. This is like the second main character you can play as, and he's got his own story, but Dante is so hot. Speak of the devil. Or werewolf, I guess, if we're being technical. Dante looks a little out of sorts, hair sticking up even more than usual. He notices them immediately, but doesn't even spare them as much of a grunt of acknowledgement. Rubbing his arm, he instead stops at the other side of the bar to order a beer. I've always thought of him as a loose cannon, waiting to burst. But he looks especially on edge tonight. Yeah, I sure hope Dante's gonna burst. All over me. And then again, Dante's never behaved the way you would expect an officer to. Perhaps that's why I mind him less. Is he avoiding us? I think he can hear you. Yes, that was the point. She raises her voice. Perfect timing, Dante. We're just talking about you. What? No, we weren't. You do realize when you say it like that, you want to sound more suspicious. Circe. Raoul rests his chin on his palm, watching the scene with a little too much amusement for her liking. For some reason, Dante seriously freaks Edgar out. Now this shouldn't be so surprising, because Edgar's been easily scared as long as Circe has known him. However, he's especially intimidated by Dante. Oh my god, guys, look at him. Look. Look, he's so pretty. Oh, that crop top is insane. To his defense, Dante does look like he punched your lights out if you look at him the wrong way on the wrong day. But you'd have to be pretty stupid to try something on Eddie while I'm around. In the meantime, Dante has picked up his beer and walked over. He offers a nonchalant wave with his free hand, which is probably as good of a greeting as I'll get from him. Did you forget to brush your hair this morning, or did you run into trouble on your way here? If anyone's picking on you, you can always let me know. I don't like animal abuse. Just ran to Abraxas. Seen him recently? Being reminded of Abraxas's existence sets a frown on her face. Not really. When Dante smirks and he looks very hot while doing so, Circe knows that he's gotten exactly what he wanted by bringing up Abraxas. Heard he and his agents were snooping around that museum that exploded, interviewing potential witnesses. A museum? An explosion? Oh, could that be related to why Abraxas needed Seth? Guess I'll be wandering around the city till that's all sorted, keeping an eye on things. Ah, if you haven't run into him yet, I'm sure you will. A lot. His smugness shifts to curiosity. Heard anything about that though? Not sure why you're asking me. I haven't got a clue what they're up to, and speaking from experience, it's best if it stays that way. Actually, why do you even care? Aren't the SSF and the police supposed to stay out of each other's business as much as they can? Unless it's related to whatever the two of you are working on. Raoul wouldn't tell us anything, but maybe you will. Oh, he didn't give me a chance to say anything. As if you would have told me the truth if I did. She could have forced him to. If she really wanted to, she could use compulsion on either of them right now and there wouldn't be much they could do about it. Dante's trickier because he's about as stubborn as one gets, but Raoul's only human. She wouldn't though, not because she's squeamish about compelling either of them, she's just not curious enough. Still, if Dante would tell her anything, she'll take it. I wish I could take it from Dante. Well, since you ask so nicely. No. You suck. I don't. It's also my job. I do also suck. Edgar, itching to get away from Dante, interrupts. Okay, well, you two look busy and we're in desperate need of a drink. We'll leave you to it. But... Come on, Circe, you bothered them enough for tonight. How dare you? I'm perfectly lovely and pleasant to be around. Raoul waves to Edgar. Good to see you, Edgar. Yeah, cheers. Edgar takes her arm and she begrudgingly lets him pull her to another corner of the bar. They nab their usual seats close to the bartender. When they drink a lot, so it's good to have easy access. In order to maintain some level of dignity, we've agreed to never discuss exactly how much of our income goes into the Golden Cat. The bartender is swift, and in a minute they have their usuals in front of them. Some cocktail for Edgar and a totally non-conspicuous glass of red wine for Circe. So, when are we going to address the elephant in the room? Edgar sips his cocktail, raising a single brow at Circe's question. I'm talking about your addiction to sugar? Should be criminal to even call that a drink. It's about 100% alcohol and 109% sugar. Not quite sure those numbers add up. Besides, what right do you have to judge anyone's choice of drink when you order the same thing every night? Why waste money on alcohol when it just spoils the taste of what I really want? I thought alcohol enhanced the taste of blood. Actually, I can't believe I've never asked you that before. She knows exactly why he hasn't asked. With each year that passes, Edgar grows more determined to avoid acknowledging what she really is. Depends on the vamp, but nothing will ever beat drinking it fresh from the tap. And have you started doing that again? She doesn't miss the regret in his eyes before he averts them. Still, she can't help the irritation she feels at what he's insinuating. Not since I ended things with Lazarus, you know that. Right. But you think that's a lie? I didn't say that. Even if I were doing it, I'm not like that fangling I met tonight. I have self-control. I'm fully capable of making my own decisions. I don't drink from people who don't want me to. And I certainly don't drain people, so you can stop looking at me like I bit your pasty ass. Edgar's face falls in his hands, but his trembling shoulders do little to conceal his laughter. It's not funny, I'm annoyed with you. I know, I'm sorry. Sorry I'm annoyed and sorry you said it in the first place? Both? She's grinning now too. Then why the laughter? Why'd you have to call me pasty? You know, I've been trying really hard to build a tan. I bet you don't even go outside. You seem like the type to be hunched over your desk all the time. You should give up on that. You're only adding to the consolation of freckles on your face. Thought you liked my freckles. I said that? Well, I must have been lying, since apparently I'm lying about everything these days. He grimaces. Seems like he thought she was gonna let that one get swept under the rug. I'm sorry, Circe. I didn't mean to accuse you. I know you're not like that. I know you wouldn't. It's just hard to forget the shit I've seen, the things I know you're capable if you weren't held back by your own morals. It always comes back to this, huh? Edgar only likes a Circe who stands up against her own kind and looks out for the weak. Not the Circe who lures strangers into her bed and sucks their blood. I know how to tell him that I'm both, so I don't. Nothing's holding me back. You make it sound like I'm forced to do this, but I choose to. It's not an easy choice. She's been like that fangling, she's been Merce, and it was fun, but she doesn't want to know how Edgar will look at her if she confesses that to him. Understand, except he doesn't. Therein lies the problem. Edgar clears his throat and puts on a smile that trembles at the corners. We're here to celebrate, you should talk about happier things, shouldn't we? Courtesy of decades of practice, the smile she puts on herself is a lot more convincing. Right. Like your girly choice of drink. We're still on that. Hey, aside from the increased risk of diabetes, I find it cute that you have a sweet tooth. At 42 years old, being described as cute is no longer very flattering, but 42? Man's aged like fine wine. Shh, wait a second. He presses a finger to his lips, then motions to the radio playing on the counter. The news is on. Local authorities have stated a gas leak caused the explosion at Beaumont Museum last night. Beaumont Museum, that's where Dante said the SSF were digging around, right? The museum's doors will remain closed to the public till repairs on the private wing are complete. Among other news, the body of a 23-year-old Jane Stewart was found last night. Earlier this month, Miss Stewart was reported missing. My god, has human news always been this boring? It's always the same thing. Someone was robbed, someone was murdered, someone was kidnapped. At least there's an explosion involved this time, but what's the aftermath? The next day, there's something else, not anything worse, but nothing better either. You don't have to listen to the news to know how terrible the world can be. Just step outside. Ever been? Edgar and Circe look up at the bartender. What, to Beaumont Museum? It's owned by one of the greatest wizards of our time. Who? It doesn't say. Renard Beaumont. Oh, there we go. One of the greatest wizards of the 1900s, supposedly. No one's actually seen Renard Beaumont in decades. Rumor says he's left all of his research and businesses in the hand of his successor, Simone Beaumont, before disappearing to live out the rest of his days in solitude. Beaumont Museum, which houses various magical valuables belonging to the Beaumont family, can be found in North Haven. Never heard of him. Makes him so great. Two things for starters, Circe doesn't bother to listen, focusing on twirling her drink around in her glass, but Edgar nods along, genuinely interested for whatever reason. Anyway, he has to be ancient now, retired from the public eye decades ago. If he's even still alive, it wouldn't surprise me if he didn't know what's happened to his family's museum. I wonder if, the museum exploded because someone was, trying to steal something. Maybe we should set it on fire again and make sure he gets the memo this time. You wouldn't actually, would you? Want to find out? You have an annoying habit of doing the opposite of what I ask of you, so no comment. When the bartender leaves to serve another customer, Edgar starts patting his pockets. Bollocks, I'm all out. Don't hold yourself back on my account. The corner shop should still be open. Sure you don't mind me leaving you alone? He's already climbed to his feet. I think I'll live, or at least not die. Again, I'll be back in no time. And he's gone. Sugar, coffee and cigs. Humans sure have a lot of stupid vices. She stares down at her drink. Not that mine are any better. She sips slowly, letting her eyes roam the room. She's not sure where the compulsion comes from. It's not as if she'll discover anything new, it's always the same old faces. No, wait. She is definitely new. And she's hot, look at her. Circe meets eyes with a woman at the far end of the pub. The beauty is no stranger to Circe. She's seen it in many faces, many bodies, and even a few hearts. But this woman isn't just beautiful. She's... The woman smiles. Circe feels compelled to return the smile. Time to ignore her. They're all pretty. No, I will smile back. Wait, no, I don't like being compelled. Not wanting to encourage any conversation, Circe tries to look away, but it's harder than it should be. Something holds her in place, forcing her to keep the woman's stare. What the hell? Her eyes finally tear free, and she shakes her head, staring down at her drink. That was strange. Wait. Circe's head snaps up, but the woman is already gone, nowhere to be seen. Only in her absence does Circe realize that she couldn't detect what the woman was. Whoever, or whatever that woman was, she means trouble. Yeah, I want her. Let's go. I want to speak to her. It makes no sense, but I want to see her again. I want to know her. I want her. Not her blood, not her body, nor her heart. Circe wants the mystery she offers. It's exactly what she's been looking for. A mystery time-consuming enough to end the perpetual boredom eating away at her. Is she a succubus? Preoccupied by her thoughts, Circe barely notices Edgar's return. He slips off his jacket, slides back into his seat, and gestures for another round of drinks on the bartender. What took he so long? Ran into some trouble. Don't be stingy with the details, what kind of trouble? He lights a cig, angling his body towards her. Their knees brush, but neither move away, used to the lack of personal space. Oh, well, so you see. No, never mind. Are you blushing? My god, you are. Not on purpose. Unfortunately, I don't think it's me having this effect on you, so it must have been something else. Edgar twists and squirms in his seat. Or someone else. Was asked out on a date. Oh, he spits the words out so fast, Circe would have missed them if not for her supernatural hearing. You're messing with me. I wish I was, this is stressing me out. Wait, you said yes? What? Obviously I said no. Why would it be obvious? Was something wrong with her? No, she's pretty and nice and smelled good. Too many details now. Sorry, I just thought she had a nice perfume. You'd like it actually. You're only making it weirder. I said no because it never would have worked, she's human. As are you? I don't live like one. Excuses. Think about it for a second. I run a supernatural detective agency. How do I explain that to someone outside the business? Not to mention how I'm up all night and sleep most of the day. No sane normal person would want to be with someone like me. Luckily I'm not sane nor normal. Oh, come on. So what if she doesn't fit into your normal schedule? You make time when you're in love. Love? God, I definitely don't have the time for that. Not when there's clients to be managed and bills to be paid and you don't have to work all the time, Eddie. You could take off one night of drinking to get laid. Shh, what if someone hears you? Oh, come on, you're a grown man. You can't possibly still be embarrassed by the word sex. I'm not, but we're in public. Sex, 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 sex. Oh, Jesus Christ. Breeding, mating, copulating, fornicating, and what is it that you Brits say? Shagging. Circe is cackling like a madwoman while Edgar hisses under his breath. Circe, I'm begging you to stop. Edgar looks about ready to explode from embarrassment, anxiously glancing around to make sure no one's heard her. Circe doesn't have the heart to remind him that they're at a bar for supernaturals. Almost everyone's guaranteed to have overheard. Anyway, wouldn't it be nice to be with someone, even if it's only for the night? Oh my god, look at him. Jeez, I want him so bad. Him and Abraxas are like so different, but they're both so charming. Edgar laughs, shaking his head more to himself than in response to her words. Somehow, I prefer to be here. Oh, with me? I wouldn't necessarily consider your presence to be an advantage. But yes, I prefer to be here with you. Circe brings her glass to his lips, hiding a smile behind it. It's a good thing he said no. It's selfish, but Circe is pleased that he rejected the stranger. I'd be jealous if he suddenly had less time for us. Their relationship isn't romantic, so it's not like he'd be cheating on her. And she likes their routine. It's the only stable routine she's ever had, and she doesn't want that to change. Besides, he's got a point. It's not like he could still work with her and lead a normal life. That's just not how it works. Of course, there are people like Raoul and Dante's superior, Orion, who have human families and try to live as normally as possible. Edgar's different. He could pack his bags, move cities, and go back to living a normal life whenever he wants. As long as he remains here though, he'll never be able to pull the wool back over his eyes. Edgar taps out a cig in the nearest ashtray. Enough about that, did I miss anything around here? Nope, for some reason, it doesn't feel right to mention the mysterious woman. Maybe it's because she knows how Edgar worries and she doesn't want him to start. The bartender slides any drinks towards them, and they clink glasses. To 20 years of this hellish profession. And to 20 more. In the end, Edgar has one too many drinks. He leans on Circe the entire walk back to his flat. She stops when they reach his building. He's never invited her upstairs before, and she doubts it'll be any different tonight. Will you make it upstairs on your own? Why wouldn't I? He pushes off of her and stumbles up the stairs to the entrance. He almost falls over several times, but by some miracle, he manages to reach the door without breaking any bones. See, He hiccups. I'm perfectly fine. Right. See you tomorrow night. He waves her goodbye and she waves back. Good night. She waits until he's safely inside the building. Chances are low he'll die on his way up the lift, so Circe begins to stroll back to her own flat. She walks at a leisurely pace, like the threat of the rising sun won't be upon her any moment now. Like her slow pace might delay the inevitable day, Circe strips down to her underwear. Her one-bedroom flat has no bed, only a sofa, so that's where she lies down. Outside, the sun slowly rises, and the world Circe will never get to be a part of again wakes up. She stares up at the ceiling, trying not to think about the growing resentment she feels every time she has to hide away from the sun. I didn't always hate daytime. When her common sense returned after her fangling year, Circe found that the day offered endless opportunities for self-improvement. She read novels. She meditated, brushed up on her history, learned martial arts, studied different languages and read some more, slept with all kinds of people, men, women, people who didn't really identify as either. Half the time she didn't even feed on them. She liked to cuddle in bed afterwards, basking in their heat. When films became a thing, she found herself obsessed with cinema, lived hundreds of different lives through the stories of others. But like everything else, soon it got dull, hiding herself in escapism to distract herself from her own thoughts. Lately, she can't be bothered to do much of anything anymore. Is that all there is to eternity? An endless cycle of wanting and no longer wanting, forever falling in and out of love with what once meant the world to you. If she shuts her eyes, if she pretends hard enough, she can almost imagine she's dreaming. Where did her dreams bring her today? Abraxas? Anything to see Abraxas again. Oh my god. Ugh, just picturing that self-righteous face of his irritates her. Nope. Not even worth thinking about for a second. Aww, the mystery woman? She's so pretty. Who was she? More importantly, what was she? Every person has a distinct aura. Some call it life force, some call it the soul. Whatever you like to call it, everyone has it. Not everyone can detect it, but Circe is trained to ensure that she never misses it. So the fact that she missed this one, it unsettles her. It unsettles her very much. And he's funny when he's drunk. He is. Though most of their nights might end up at the Golden Cat, Edgar rarely drinks enough to get wasted. His love of tobacco might send him to an early grave, but at least alcohol poisoning won't. A small comfort. She continues to dream. She tries her best to fight against the current of her thoughts, but somehow they always lead back to him. Don't think about him. Against her will, Circe remembers him. Open your eyes. Look into my eyes. See yourself as you truly are, as you were always meant to be. I'm afraid. For us, fear is a choice. When she opens her eyes and looks into his, she doesn't see herself. She sees him, and only him. I want to see what he looks like. Beautiful. He whispers, reverent. I will never make anything as beautiful as you again. But sigh, you did not make me. I did. His spindly fingers caress her skin with such tenderness. She foolishly mistakes it for fondness. I delivered you from death. I rendered you invulnerable to the horrors of time. I captured you in the moment you were the most beautiful you'd ever would be. Beautiful. Forever. She holds the monster's stare. My eternal companion forever. Ah, the sun has set again. But Circe only snaps out of her daydreams when she hears the balcony door open. She doesn't have to get up to guess who's broken into her flat. She recognizes those steps anywhere. Hello, Abraxas? Why are you in my flat? I'm in my underwear. You better have a good reason for this, Abraxas. She stands up to glare at him. His eyes linger on her lack of attire for no longer than what is polite. I apologize for the impromptu visit, but it could not wait. Would you please put some clothes on? Then of course I shall explain my unconventional entrance. Time to do that. Why not remove your own clothes if it feels unfair? Do not be unreasonable. It is not a matter of what is fair or not, but what is appropriate. No, take your clothes off right now, do it. Well, I won't be putting mine on. This is my home and I'm comfortable like this. It wouldn't be courteous for me to be here while you are... He gestures awkwardly, refusing to look at her again. Unprepared for guests. Exactly why you should remove yours. Make it even. She must know she's messing with him. She can tell from the angry furrow he's failing to hide between his brows. But he slips off his jacket anyway, hanging it over the side of the sofa. Please let me see. Oh my god, yay! Oh my god, look at him. Whoa. You can see how tiny his waist is and how big his chest is. Satisfied. Her eyes linger appreciatively on the way his shirt stretches across his chest. Is it intentional that your shirts are always a size too small for you? If you intend to objectify me, I'll be putting my jacket back on. No, don't! Please don't, baby girl. She sighs dramatically. Never any fun, are you? As a vamp, shouldn't you know better than to enter a stranger's home without invitation? We're not strangers. We're not friends either. Acquaintances. Are you seriously trying to negotiate our level of familiarity? He eyes the balcony he just snuck in through. I didn't mean to cause you any distress, but that's to make sure no one would know I was here. Why not? And you felt that creeping in through the balcony was the most discreet way to accomplish that. I was not creeping. Really? His eyes sweep down her body again. He clears his throat and pretends to be distracted by the posters lining the wall. Man, we should just boink right now. You just know that the second he falls for us and finally snaps, the banging is gonna be nasty. I believe this is my first time seeing your flat. Do you watch a lot of films? Explain why you broke into my damn flat. Sneaked in. Don't be childish. It's not cute when you're like 200 years old. It's about that case that Seth was witness to. Did you release him already? Of course, we had no reason to hold him after questioning. No reason? I gave you a reason. Yes, I put in the word with the SCD to look into him sooner than later. They mentioned they hadn't received any reports from you, however. Whoops. I did not come here to talk about Seth. I need a favor. Will you do it? The request surprises her. She studies his face, waiting for the punchline. Well, will you? I can't believe my ears. The great Abraxas is asking for my help. Really? Do not make me repeat myself. It was difficult enough the first time. Even if she finds it hard to believe, Abraxas is definitely telling the truth. He barely even relies on his own agents. So for him to come to her, of all people, for help, it means he needs something badly enough to swallow his pride. I never expected to see the night. She's already set on not doing it. Because why would she in her right mind ever help Abraxas? But that doesn't mean that she's not curious. You're gonna have to share more details before I decide. Have you heard of the incident at the Beaumont Museum? In passing, this must never become public knowledge, but the gas leak was a cover-up coordinated by us at the SSF. Wow! Who could have ever imagined? Magic triggered the explosion. The burst of energy was so powerful that should our culprit have wished to, they could have destroyed far more than a single wing. At worst, I fear they might even be able to burn down half of North Haven. My agents and I have determined it cannot be a mere accident. This was an intentional attack. I see. Unfortunately, it gets worse. The wing that was destroyed harbored several magical artifacts, one of which is now missing. You should be grateful then. They could have stolen all of them. I sent my team to clean up the scene and deal with any witnesses. That's when they found the initials JM spray painted on the wall. JM, redacted. Oh, whoever or whatever this JM is, it is our only lead. Couldn't you trace the magic from the explosion? Circe knows for a fact that the SSF North Haven branch has a very talented witch in their ranks. She even happens to be Abraxas' second in command. We suspect it was caused by the artifact itself, which didn't leave any residue from the user behind. Okay, but why do you want me involved? The SSF regularly collaborates with the supernatural police, but that's it. They've never worked with Thorn investigations. Yeah, well, they must be really desperate, just like how I'm desperate for Abraxas. I want him so bad right now. Why won't he kiss me yet? And while Circe is not opposed to a challenge, she's no witch hunter. She knows vampires, she knows werewolves, she knows demons, but messing with the wrong wizard can have deadly consequences. It's common sense to not get involved in their affairs. We're gonna launch a full investigation into JM when we were explicitly told by people higher up the ladder to drop the case. Apparently an outsider is being sent from elsewhere to continue the investigation. I take it that's unusual. Not necessarily, there have been cases where we collaborated with external parties, but the keyword there is collaboration. Never in all the time I worked for SSF have I been locked out of a case in this manner. Ooh, oh come on, you live long enough to know that there's a first for everything. I know. Still, I am suspicious of their intentions. I have no real reason to be, no factual evidence, nothing to work with but a presentiment. But I cannot shake the feeling that something is wrong. What was the artifact? If I knew, I would have told you. I doubt that. I mean it. I know no more than beyond the little I've already shared with you. Which is like nothing. It was hidden in plain sight inside Renaud Beaumont's private collection. We had planned to contact him about it before we were ordered to drop the case. So all we know is that it can make stuff go boom. Not the exact words I would use, but essentially yes. Who's to say that power didn't come from the person wielding the artifact? Abraxas firmly shakes his head like he's already ruled that option out. There are witches or wizards capable of things our minds cannot imagine, but it would be suicide to release a burst of energy that large without assistance. When magic's involved, nothing's impossible. Well, I suppose. Still, I would say it's too unlikely to be worth consideration. Seth was the only witness. The only witness who might have seen anything of note, at least. We were interviewed all the others and we learned nothing. Who might have? I thought you brought him in for questioning. We did, however, we were told to drop the case before we could ask him anything worthwhile. Once again, the SSF proved to be embarrassingly incapable. I'm sure Abraxas can show us how capable he really is, though. That'd be great. Not our finest work, I know. Since when do you care? I thought it wasn't any of your business if the laws enforced by your superiors might be unfair to us non-humans. I know what you think of me, Miss Circe, but I'm not your enemy. The SSF do what we must to protect supernaturals from humans and them from us. Sometimes that means the occasional casualty on our side. Our side, he says. When has he ever been on our side? Anyhow, given the things you get up to in your own time, I do not think you should be judging anybody else. I'll judge whoever I want whenever I want. I don't kill vamps out of some sense of moral superiority. I kill them because it's fun and it pays the bills. Maybe that makes me a bit of a bitch. So what? I'm not so sanctimonious that I need to pretend my actions are morally justified. Are you really so irredeemable when you only kill the bad ones? Don't paint me as some sort of anti-heroine. All vamps are bad, even you, especially me. Same goes for humans, werewolves, and witches, you name it. We're all equally capable of bad and good, that's why it means something when we choose to do good. Abraxas doesn't look surprised by her speech. He may not know the full extent of what Circe used to get up to before North Haven, but unlike Edgar, he can surely imagine. And this is Circe on her best behavior, and if you ever have the misfortune of meeting her at her worst, well, good luck. I only target the so-called bad ones because I don't need any more trouble with the law than I already have. Also, if someone is willing to pay to see you dead, not once but twice, you're probably an asshole anyway. Abraxas shakes his head. He gives up on adding anything to this conversation, returning to the previous subject. Technically, I'm not betraying orders. It's not me who's investigating this after all, it is you. And if you happen to feed some information back to me, then that's simply how it goes. Loophole of the century. This folds her arms over her chest. I'll help you under one condition. Why are you making that face? You haven't even heard what I have to say yet. Fine, state your terms. It's quite simple. If you're so desperate for my help, beg for it. Wait, actually, yes, I would like to see this. No. He moves to leave, but she blocks his path. Oh, damn it. Always so uptight. Let me rethink this. Abraxas just stares, waiting. She takes her time hemming and hawing, simply for the amusement of keeping him in suspense. All right, I'll do it. His glare softens, only barely, but enough for her to notice. Thank you. Don't thank me, I'm not doing it for you. It just sounds like a compelling case, far more interesting than anything I worked on lately. Maybe this is what'll fish her out of her slump. Keep her running Thorn investigations for another 20 years. You better pay us though, and provide a generous tip. Everyone knows Abraxas sits on a monstrous amount of generational wealth from his previous life. Something she might, as well, use to her advantage here. That can be arranged. Perfect. Now give me a moment to get dressed and I'll get you out of here. There's no need. I'm my own way. The balcony again? Absolutely not, Romeo. His eyes shift to the floor, brows drawing together. He's that conflicted about this. Perhaps it's because he's never broken the rules in the past. He fears the consequences should anyone learn that he's disobeying orders. Well, I want to be nice to him. The SSF have no reason to monitor your every move. Even if someone does find out that you came here, surely you're quick-witted enough to think of an excuse on the spot? Yes, you're right. There are plenty of reasons why I might come to see you. Plenty, you say, such as? He rolls his eyes, and any previous hints of vulnerability vanish. Never mind that. Get dressed. I do not have all night and neither do you. Just on the attitude, I'll be sure to take my sweet time. Circe leads Abraxas downstairs so he can leave through the front door like a normal person. In their office, a freshly shaven Edgar made himself comfortable behind his desk, his mid-bite on a biscuit when they enter. I kinda like when Edgar had the 5 o'clock shadow though. It made him look extra disheveled. Duh? Take that out of your mouth so we can understand. He swallows. Why is he here? Good to see you too, Thorn. Pleasure's all yours, prick. Edgar's nasty glare softens only slightly when his eyes shift to Circe. I repeat, why is he here? And why was he upstairs? And how do you even get in? I've been here for over an hour. That door's been shut the entire time. Do you show up during the day? Did you spend all... Before you let your imagination run to places I don't even want to imagine, how about you shut up and let me talk? Go on. Lie because it's funny. You're right, he did spend the day. He did what? I didn't. Abraxas looks to Edgar. I didn't. Denying it twice makes you sound totally guilty. But you know it isn't true. Edgar's standing at the same... Is he? He is. Why must you always make up nonsense? As if I believed that anyway, neither of you could stand each other for that long. Now tell me the truth, what's he doing here? I'm standing right here, Thorn, you could simply ask me. Or I could not. Abraxas sneers. In that case, I shall leave the explaining to your boss. Edgar lifts his plate. You're gonna piss off now, right? Have a biscuit before you go. Fresh from our neighbor. I can't. Oh, that's right, you can't eat. I can, but the taste is repulsive and I cannot properly digest it, meaning I would have to... Abraxas pauses. Ah, you're mocking me. Edgar stuffs a cookie in his mouth. Took you long enough? Abraxas focuses on Circe again. Report to me as soon as you find something. You know where to find me. Yes, sir. Edgar lights a cig. After Abraxas leaves, she waits for his patience to wear thin. It doesn't take long. So, he wants us to look into something. He explains everything to Edgar. Same as her, he's baffled that Abraxas would ignore a direct order from his superiors. It doesn't make sense. I know, that's why it's interesting. Some measly initials aren't that much of a lead though. JM could be a person, an organization, or a movement. How will we know? Only one way to find out. Let's split up and check in with our contacts around the city, see if they've heard anything. You know which side is yours. Right. Enjoy your biscuits. I'll head out first. She walks up to the window. She's moments away from transforming when Edgar calls out. Sus, be careful, please. Worry about yourself, old man. 20 years ago I was a boy, today I'm an old man. Look, given another 10 years I'll be dust and cobwebs in your eyes. It's a compliment. I like older men. It's not a compliment, you have extremely questionable taste. Don't downplay your sex appeal, your creaky knees and back issues especially are oh so attractive. Enough! Don't you have somewhere else to be? Try not to miss me too much. Circe transforms, circling Edgar once before she flies out the window and into the night. Thorn Investigations has established a trusted net of sources around North Haven over the past 2 decades, from small business owners to working girls to regular everyday people oblivious to the supernatural world. You never know who might have the intel you need. But tonight none of their usuals has anything useful for Circe. No one's heard of the initials before. Are we gonna meet mysterious woman again? For her last stop, Circe catches Nisha away from Elysium on a smoke break. Long time no see, Circe. Nisha, Laz's right hand, has secretly worked as an informant for Thorn Investigations for years now. She's a street-smart human who enjoys making a little extra on the side. Although I'm not sure what she needs it for, from what I've heard, Laz pays her plenty and more. Then again, given that she's basically running his business for him, there's probably nothing he could pay Nisha that would be enough for the work that she does. Anyway, I appreciate that Nisha's a businesswoman. Greed is easy to work with. How'd you stop by Elysium last night? Paid Laz a quick visit? And you didn't think to come and say hi to me? You'd have liked that? I'm not gonna lie, I'd heard a bit. Thought we were friends. Sure, if you say so. I didn't come here to catch up. Oh, you didn't? Well, what are you here for then? Have you seen the initials JM around lately? Nisha shrugs. No, is that someone important? Another dead end. Don't even know if it's a who or what yet, but if you hear anything... Nisha tips her imaginary hat to Circe. You'll be the first to know, of course. Thanks. Nisha butts out a cig on the nearest wall. But that's all, I should get back inside. Elysium doesn't run itself. Lazarus still leaving all the work to you. He pulls his weight. Sometimes. Kick him in the balls for me when you see him next. I quite like this job, so I will not be doing that, but you have my respect for your commitment to hating him. It's a lifestyle at this point. Nisha waves a goodbye and disappears inside the abandoned building. Circe sighs and returns to the streets. Let's see if Edgar's had better luck. The lights are on when Circe enters the office. Edgar must have gotten back first. If you're here already, I guess you didn't find anything worthwhile either. She stops at the doorstep. Oh, you can't be serious. 2 break-ins in one night. Oh, she's so pretty. Look at her. Edgar's nowhere to be seen. Standing behind his desk is the mystery woman from last night. Finally, Circe can see the woman for what she really is. A witch. A very powerful one, if she's able to conceal her magic like that. There you are. I've been waiting for you. Her eyes leave the streets outside to meet Circe's gaze. They stare at each other for a long beat, neither willing to break eye contact or begin the conversation. Eventually, the woman smiles, impressed for some reason. You have a spine. A quality I respect. As long as one does not mistake it as a suitable replacement for competence. As you are doing right now, the woman laughs. You have a sense of humor as well. That is good. When Circe still doesn't move, the woman pushes away from the wall to stand up straight. She's tall, in the same way models are. It should be a pointless, ridiculous, inappropriate thought to have in this moment, and yet Circe can't help but feel like there's something unnatural about how bewitching the woman before her is. Apologies and introductions are in order. Which would you prefer to hear first? You choose. Well, if you insist. My name is Nocturne. I am not a local, but perhaps my accent gave that away already. She's looking for the person behind the explosion at Beaumont Museum for reasons, huh? Among the many strange circumstances of this situation, Circe barely noticed a subtle French accent. I'm sorry to ambush you like this in your own office, but you are a busy lady. It is not so easy to catch you alone. Please do not worry, I truly mean you no harm. Am I expected to just believe that? Apparently so, because Nocturne continues talking like nothing's out of the ordinary. It really is a pleasure to meet you, Circe. I have heard terrible things about you and the work you do, which must mean you are good at it. Whatever you've been told and worse. Perfect. That's exactly the kind of woman I'm looking to hire. Circe narrows her eyes at the witch. You want to hire me? For what exactly? Nocturne doesn't look like she requires any help killing your typical street vamp, so it's definitely not for that. The same thing everyone hires you for. I'm looking for someone. I want you to find them. Right. Unfortunately for you, I'm quite busy at the moment, so I won't be able to take your case. Goodbye. Nocturne's voice is firm, even as her perfect smile stays painted on. You're already looking for them. Who? Ah. So JM is a person? I presume so. The person they're pretending to be, the real JM, was a brilliant young witch. But who knows? When it comes to this imposter, it could be anyone for all we know. How do you know it's an imposter? Why couldn't it be the real JM? Because she's dead. Nocturne's tone is so detached. Circe can hardly believe this isn't all one big joke. She's dead. Quite dead, yes. I would know. I killed her. She's dead. And you killed her. Murdered, slew, killed, whichever word you prefer. Assuming that's even true, why would you admit that to a complete stranger? I told you I've done my research. I know everything I need to know to determine that you're capable for this job. If I did not believe you were capable, I would not be here. I am not a witch who wastes her time on whims. Throughout this conversation, Nocturne's smile has never fallen. Till now, you must understand, it is most important to me that this person is found. I want the best detective possible on the job, and I believe that to be you. So you will take my case. You will find the imposter and the artifact they got their thieving little hands on, and you will bring them both to me. And you will not disappoint. She smiles again. Money is of no consequence to me, so you will of course be well compensated for your efforts. For once, Circe is genuinely at a loss for words, but Nocturne doesn't seem to mind. I'll take your silence to mean you accept, yes? Oh, look at her full outfit. Oh, it's so pretty. You reached the end of the demo. Well, that was so fun. I want to play more of it. And that is my full playthrough of Circe's Route for Burn the Midnight Oil. I hope you guys like that. Also, sorry about my camera disappearing. I forgot to record my outro, and then I went to get ready for bed, and now I'm sitting here in my pajamas. So, rip. But I love this game so much. I'm so happy that I got to play the demo. I had such a good time. I really like the fact that both Circe and Dante have different routes. Dante's got the new magical drug story, and Circe has the private investigation stuff that she's doing. And also their love interests are different as well, so it's just really cool to have that kind of distinction, and I adore it so much. Meeting Abraxas made me so happy, and like I know I struggled to pick a love interest I want to pursue for Dante, and I think I came into Circe's route really hellbent on Abraxas, but after meeting Nocturne and Edgar, it's very hard for me to choose as well. Ultimately though, you do know that I love a stoic man who is just, you know, very uptight, so there's a chance that I'll probably do Abraxas first, but definitely gonna go back and do Edgar and Nocturne's routes when the full game releases. But yeah, thank you so much for hanging out with me and watching this with me as well. If you guys want to support the development team, I currently have a Kickstarter for this game going. If you check it out, you can have a peep at some of the stretch goals and what goodies that you are able to get. I put the link in the description box below, along with the team's Steam page for this game and itch page as well, so feel free to wishlist those too. And if you would like to support me, my Patreon is in the description box below. Supporting is not mandatory, just very, very appreciated. Thank you so much again, and until next time, take care.